jingle bell rock, jingle bell swing.
Hi everyone, it's Vicky here from Crafty Heaven, and thank you very much for joining me today, and thank you for joining me on another project using the boxes from Papercraft Society Advent Calendar. So this is a first part video, and the second part will be up tomorrow because we're using 3 boxes from boxes 16 to 20 today, and then the other 2 from that will be tomorrow. This gorgeous card, and I'm calling this the Creative Cuts Flat Flap FunFold card, and the reason I'm calling it that is because obviously, as you can see, it is a FunFold card, and this will fit into your DL envelope, and then when you open it up it's actually 8 by 8, and I'm calling it the Creative Cuts because I'm using Made to Surprise circles and tall arrows die set from Sam's Creative Cuts collection, and I absolutely love how this turned out. And like I said, it will fold up flat, so then you can put it into a DL envelope. So I hope that you enjoyed this first part video, and let's get on and make this card. So we're going to start off with the card base. So this is what we are aiming for. So it will look like this when it's folded flat, and then when you open it up it will look like that. Looks complicated, but it really isn't. So I'm going to pop that to one side. So I'm using a mixture of tools. So I'm using my scoreboard as well as my paper trimmer. You could just use your paper trimmer if you wish, but I can't find my scoring blade that goes in this. I've misplaced it, so I'm going to have to use my scoreboard, and then I'm going to do the trimming on there. But if you don't have a scoreboard or a trimmer, you can just use a score stylus or a craft knife and a ruler. Okay, so you don't need all these tools to make this card. So you're going to need a piece of cardstock that measures 8 inches by 8 inches, and we're going to start off by scoring at 2 inches and 6. Then we're going to rotate it so the score lines that we've just done are horizontal, and we are going to add some cut lines in between these 2 score lines. Okay, so I'm actually going to just score this so then I can show you where we need to cut. So we're going to add our cut lines in between these 2 score lines, and the first one will be at 2 inches. So I'm just going to place my scoring stylus in the 2-inch mark, and I'm not going to press too hard. And then when I get to that score line, I'm going to score down to the next score line. Okay, then we're going to add a cut line at 6 inches. Okay, so I'm just going to line that up at 6 inches, and we will cut there. So I've added the score line, so hopefully you can see where we need to cut. So you will place this in your trimmer, which I will do in just a second, but I just wanted to mark these so you knew where we was cutting. So we've got a cut line at 2 inches and at 6 inches. Okay, so I'm going to grab my trimmer now, and I'm going to place this at 2 inches. And like I said, if you don't have a paper trimmer, you can just use your craft knife and cut that. So I'm going to just line my blade with the first score line and then cut up to the second score line. Okay, so now we have our first cut. Then I'm going to turn it to the opposite side and make it easy for me, and I'm just going to line it up at 2 inches again and cut in between those score lines. And then that is the trimming done. So now you'll have these 2 cut lines. Okay, Then we are going to add some score lines again. So we're going to turn it this way, so our score lines are facing this way. So we're going to add our score lines in between these cuts. Okay, so the first one will be at 3. So I'm just going to line that up at 3 and then score in between those two cut lines. Then the next one is at 5. So I'm just going to gently go down to where that cut line is, and then I can score in between. Okay, so can you see I've added the score lines at 3 and 5. Then we're going to score at the top and bottom at 4 inches. So come down to the first cut line and then rotate and score again at 4 and bring that down to that cut line. So I'm just going to recap what we've done. So we added our 2 longer score lines at 2 and 6 inches. Then we rotated it, added our cut lines in between those 2 larger score lines at 2 and 6. Rotated it back to where we originally started, and we added 2 score lines in between those cut lines at 3 and 5, and then we added a score line at 4 just to this first cut line here. Rotated it again, add a score line at 4 to the first, to this cut line here. So hopefully that makes sense. So now what we need to do is we need to fold on our score lines. So larger score lines, you're going to do a valley fold. So fold them to what would be the front of our card and give that a good press. Then these score lines that are in the center, they're all going to be mountain folds. Okay, so I'm just reinforcing them because I've already done that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to get these and we're going to pinch that together. This one is going to go to the left and this one will go to the right, and then you can just press all that down with your bone folder. Okay, and then that will lay flat, and then when you open it up it will look like that. So I really hope that was helpful, and you know, it wasn't too difficult to understand. So now we need to add our mats and layers. I've stuck some of these together already, but I'm going to tell you the measurements. For these 4 sections here, I have used some white cardstock and also the patterned paper that has come in one of the boxes. So this is one of them and it's absolutely gorgeous. And then I'm using this one to go behind this design that we're going to die cut out. Okay, but these are all the other designs, absolutely gorgeous. So you're going to need 4 pieces of white card that measures 1 7/8 by 1 7/8, and then the patterned paper is 1 3/4 by 1 3/4, and you will need 4 of them. White pieces that's going to go here, and we are going to cut out this design in just a second. So this measures 1 3/4 by 7 5/8, and you will need 2 of them. For the middle section, I've cut a piece of the yellow card that we got in one of the other boxes, and this measures 1 7/8 by 3 7/8, and that will go in the middle. And then the white piece that we're going to stamp on, this measures 1 3/4 by 3 3/4, and then that will go on top of that yellow one. And then finally for these 2 areas here, again I've cut that yellow card, and you'll need 2 that measures 7/8 of an inch by 3 7/8, and then the white card is 3 3/4 by 3/4, and then your patterned paper 5/8 of an inch by 3 5/8, and you'll need 2 of each of them, and then they're going to go on there. So now we're going to do some die cutting. So we're aiming to get this, and the lovely Sam from Made to Surprise sent me a beautiful Christmas card, and I will just get it. So this is the gorgeous Christmas card that I got off Sam, who is Sam Calcott here on YouTube, also known as Made to Surprise. You probably all know her, and I was so excited to receive this card off her. So yeah, I'm going to treasure this because I haven't got a card from Sam yet, and it's my first one, so I'm really excited. But how cute is that? And she also sent me from the Creative Cuts collection, and this is the Circles and Tall Arrows die set. So thank you so much for that, Sam. So I'm going to be using the circle one today. So we're going to get these 2 pieces here, and we're going to die cut out the center, and I want to try and roughly get it in the middle, and then I'm going to run that through my die cutting machine, and I'm also going to do it to this one as well. So then you're left with this, and you'll have these 2 that will cut out, and then the idea is that you would add this at the end, but I'm actually liking how it's just got this finish here, because normally what you would do is you would add this and then tuck that one underneath like that, so it's a continuous pattern, but I'm actually going to leave that one out for the project today. So now what we need to do is we're just going to fold these back on themselves like this, okay, and then each one will tuck underneath there like that. Okay, so just keep doing that all the way down. So do exactly the same to this one. Okay, so that's what they look like. And then you want to decide which way you want these to go. So you could have them going this way or that way. It's entirely up to you. So I think I might have them going this way. But before I attach this, I actually want to get this patterned paper. And as you can see, it's not going to fit the whole piece. So I'm going to have to just trim some off and then add a bit of an extra to the bottom. So I think I'm going to just trim it so it just covers this area here, and then hopefully I'll have enough for both pieces. Okay, so that's what it looks like so far, and I think it looks so pretty. So now we're going to stamp our image. So we're going to get that piece that's going to go in the middle here, and we're going to use the stamp set that come in one of the boxes, and I think I'm going to stamp a flower and then colour the flower in blue so it brings out some of that blue. And there we go, that is that all finished. I've just added some of the ephemera from the other boxes. I've done some colouring, I've added my sentiment on the front, and then I've just added some diamantes. You could also add some white card to the back to add your message, but I'm not going to bother. I'm just going to write it on the blue cardstock, and then that will fold and that will fit into a DL envelope. So there we go, guys. I hope that you enjoyed this project. Some of the boxes from 16 to 20. Join me for part 2 tomorrow, where we will be using the other 2 boxes to make a project. And if you enjoyed this video, please give me a big thumbs up. Please continue to support my channel by hitting that subscribe button. Until next time, guys, take care. Bye for now.
Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock. Jingle bells swing and